I don't know what happened.
Okay, we get ready to come on. Oh, we
Yes,
live.
ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Deborah Jones. I'm your Blue Table Talk host, along with my co-host, Latoya. What you got on that Toya tonight? Toya Oze. Hey, Toya, how you doing?
Hi, Mammy D. How are you?
I'm just great. So, Toya, we were going to interview Toya tonight, but before we interview Toya, um, let me do some housekeeping right now. You know, right now we're in the process of voting. So this is early voting right now for our constitutional amendment and joint election. And it began yesterday on Monday. So it's from Monday, October 23rd through November 3rd. That's early voting. Um, all the precincts may vote at any voting center. We have precinct 1 service center open. We also have Rogers Park open, the community room on Important Natures. They have Ray Chasson office building, which is the courtroom, is open. And that's on 19217 FM 365. We have Marion Ed Hughes Public Library is open. That's 2712 Needland. The Groves Activity Building and Lounge, that's on 39th Street in Groves. We also have the Jefferson County Sub Courthouse, that's and you're voting in the foyer, that's in Port Arthur. We have the Port Arthur Library. Um, Also, we have the Jefferson County Courthouse in the lobby. And here, right here in Beaumont, Texas, we have John Paul Davis Community Center open on Lucas, on East Lucas. We also have Theodore John Library and Meeting Room, that's on Fournette Road. We also have, and that's all. So the dates and hours for all, and the location are October 23rd, which was yesterday, all the way to the 27th. Monday through Friday is open at 8 a.m. and closes at 5. October 28th, Saturday, they open at 7. They're from 7 to 7. So that's on Saturday. October 29th, which is the Pew to the Pole. October 29th on Sunday, they open from 12 p.m. to 6 o'clock. And also October 30th through November the 3rd, they're open from Monday through Friday from 7 to 7. Election day is November 7th. And you know those polls are open from 7 to 7. So you don't have to go vote at your own precincts. You can go any precinct you want to and vote. So let's get that vote. To my knowledge, as I spoke to someone today about the precincts and the voting area, about people voting, they said it was less than 500. So come on, guys. That's at all the locations together. So come on, guys. Let's get out there and vote. This is our Constitution Amendment, which is very serious because this is dealing with your city and your state and everything. So let's go out there and vote. Don't forget uh, Proposition 9, which I'm pushing, is for the retired educators to get a raise. So vote yes for that. Just in case you didn't know. Anyway, read those constitutional rights and go out and vote.
I agree. I agree.
Yes, because we right now it is slow, very slow. And so of course, you know, if you have already voted and your neighbor has not voted, go out, help your neighbor to go out there and vote, or your friend or whomever, help them to go out and vote, because like I said, voting is serious. And if you don't vote, don't say a word. Don't say a word whenever someone else is out there and something happens and that's not what you wanted, it's because you didn't vote. So let's get out there and vote. Okay,
That's
so
right.
with that being said, hi, let me say hello to
Can I
Elizabeth.
say something?
Yes, ma'am.
While you're talking about voting and things are not getting done, we need to let people know that's the reason why so many of us are incarcerated because we do not go to jury duty.
That's right. Amen. Amen. But you know what? A lot of us, when we get the summon, excuse me, in the mail, we throw it away.
I was guilty of it till Alderman broke it down. We were talking. He was like, I was talking about it. I was a little boy was getting ready to be charged. He said, and That's the reason why, because y'all don't go to jury duty.
You don't go jury duty, and
And I'm like, why? I mean, yeah,
you need to do that. That's your right. That's your
yes, right.
voice. So we need to do that. Elizabeth said, "No vote, no voice." That's what I'm talking about. You're right,
Yep,
Elizabeth. So let's go out there, guys, and exercise our rights, because that's our duty. I mean, years past, our great grandfather and grandfather, whatever, they couldn't vote.
that's
Because
right.
they did not give us the privilege to do that. Now that we do have the privilege, we don't even exercise it. We don't even do it.
Not only that, but I was on a campaign trail probably about 5 years ago, and I was talking to a lot of guys. They really felt because they were locked up, just going to jail. They were told they could not vote. So we need to start educating people on this stuff. Like you can vote
Yeah, right. You can't vote.
if you're not a felony. Yeah, you don't have a felon, you can vote.
Yeah, that's right. If you do not have fun, you can vote. Yeah, you
Yeah.
are so right. So tonight we're going to talk to our co-host, which is Toya Ozen, and we're going to talk about a lot of illnesses, like diseases that she's even experienced herself. So we're going to talk about sickle cell. We're going to talk about sickle thalassemia. How you say that?
It's sickle thalassemia. It's the trait.
It's the trait. And we're going to talk about
Hmm.
lupus, and we're going to talk about mitochondrial myopathy. That's it, right?
Myopathy.
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 Now
Yes, ma'am.
I know that myo means muscle, and apathy means
Hmm.
it's the disease, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what we're going to talk about right now is going to talk about the sickle cell. So come on in, everybody. Come on in. Listen, because there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and she's here to talk to us about it because she's experienced it. And so, and she's still experiencing it. But we always say, by his stripes, you are healed.
That's
And
right.
if she believes that, she'll know that all these doctors that she's gone to, all these times she's gone to ER, it's stopping. It's gonna stop. And you gonna probably go to ER thinking you sick and you ain't. So we're gonna even pray for before the podcast is over. Okay,
It's
so
okay.
living with sickle cell, tell us what sickle cell is to you.
Well, actually, I just recently got this confirmed diagnosis. I was always told that I had the trait and that
Mhm.
I have the sickle thalassemia trait because I was in the hospital a few times when my retic count was elevated. But I was always told, you don't have the disease. You actually just have two traits, which you could actually, a combination will make you sickle and have a crisis.
Mhm.
And I was in Methodist, or was it Herman Memorial? This is maybe 8, 9 years ago. A doctor came in. I'm arguing with this lady. She's saying, "You have sickle cell." I said, "Ma'am, I do not have sickle cell. Like, I do not have sickle cell." And so this last time that I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, when the man came in, told me I didn't have it, and it then came back with a confirmative test result that said that they had to do more extensive testing, and it said that I had it. But I'm not claiming it because, of course, I'm healed. But
Exactly.
I have just a sickle cell. It's different. It's different traits. I mean, not traits. I'm sorry. It's different diseases. I don't have a bad case like my niece has, the worst one. So I know more about sickle cell because of what she went through. So that's how I kind of knew it's nothing to play with. But I honestly didn't think that I had it. But nurses was telling me I never forget, I would go back and forth to the hospital when I was younger, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. And this nurse, she said, go get tested for sickle cell.
So
And lo and behold, she was right. Ma'am,
is it inherited? Does your mom or dad have it, or some grandparents?
no, no, my mom and my dad, they both have the sickle cell trait. So
Mm-hmm.
the only way a person would, get the disease is if both parents have to have the trait.
Right.
So yeah, like my sister, she has the trait, and my niece's father has the trait. So she has sickle cell. Thank God her other daughter didn't have it. And then whenever I had my babies, I went and got Daniel tested because it scared me when my niece had, a diagnosis. And thank God he doesn't have the trait. So I'm the one that carried the gene.
So do you take any medication for it or what? Anything?
No, not for sickle cell. I take medication for my lupus. So I've been, and that was a hard, that's something hard to diagnose as well because your ANA can be up, then it can be down, then it can be up. And then I'm like, well, okay, so I will come back with these negative ANAs, and then these doctors are saying, well, you don't have lupus. And now I start going to specialists, and they do more. Like I go to Mayo Clinic, and they said that that's what it was a confirmed diagnosis. But I'm just in pain all the time. I take medicine for that. At one time I was on 23 medications.
For the lupus or the traits of the sickle cell?
The lupus. I I keep this as a reminder. That's medication,
Wow.
and
But
I
when
just
you go on, you took that every day?
I was having to take pills every single day. It was to the point I wasn't any good for myself, for my kids, for my family, because I would be bedbound. And
Right.
it was all of that medication. And a really good friend of mine, Robin Young, she it's like natural supplements called It Works. And when I started taking the supplements that I started selling, I got off of all of that medication. So the only thing I'm on now is my blood thinners and my lupus medication. Like I don't even take pain medicine because I don't want to be, dependent on it.
Right. I know a while back
Ah,
I had about four ladies on for lupus, and they were like you, they're taking a lot of medication for the lupus. And I have a first cousin, which I shared with you once before, who has lupus, and at one point her lupus was so bad she was crawling, you know.
yeah.
And so I'm like, at first, like I did not understand all the effects of lupus, and I was like, why she was talking to me on the phone. She was hurting so bad. I said, why are you doing that? I thought she was like fake jaking, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know lupus would carry you all the way down like that.
Oh, it does. Like I've lost. I'm not gonna say I've lost. I haven't lost. I mean, no, I'm not gonna say I lost people. I'm really. You already know I'm a very guarded person.
Hmm.
So a lot of people. This is big for me to be talking about this because I'm just don't let everybody in my business. But I'm on that podcast. But to say if people do not know what you're experiencing, they don't understand it.
Right. I mean,
So
just to look at you, and I don't know what a person with lupus would look like, but I know I have several friends who I know has lupus, and just to look at you, you look healthy.
yeah, everyone says that, and I tell people like I just started like, and I even have this is a port that I have.
Hmm.
Like they can't get any blood out of me. I have a power port, so they do blood draws and give me medication because the lupus has it has an effect on my veins and everything. It also I had a partial nephrectomy of my left kidney. The doctor thought it was cancer. And when he got inside of me, he said, I thought I was going to lose you on the table. He said, because I started clotting right before his eyes. And that hurricane sewed me back up because he thought he was going to lose me. And so that's when I was like, okay, this is really serious. Because I really, to be honest, I didn't take it as serious as I should have. And yeah, so it's nothing to play with.
Wow, wow. So do you go to your doctor for the lupus, or do you still sickle cell and lupus? Do they work together? Put it like that. Once do they work
Um,
together? Are they
it's
on the same order?
Well, since this last diagnosis, I come way to Texas to see Dr. Fowler. I won't see anyone else. Um, but he doesn't know the last diagnosis. I go see him in a couple of months. So I don't know. It's from what I'm reading and talking to. I just talked to a friend of mine. Her mom's a nurse practitioner. She said everything kind of goes hand in hand because I wanted to know more about it once I got a confirmative, diagnosis. But everything with lupus and sickle cell, it's pretty much the same how you feel. You're just in pain all the time. And the only way I can describe it is like my bones hurt.
Hmm.
It's a really deep, deep pain. And it's nothing I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Well, I don't have any enemies. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Like, it's, you just never know. It affects you. It affects your organs, your liver, all of that stuff.
So how did you know you had lupus? I know you probably,
A test.
but where is there
I
some kind of feeling or something like that?
I was at the ER. Like I didn't know what was wrong with me. It was that bad because I was in pain so much. I would tell these people, "Can you please make sure I don't have cancer?" Because that's how bad I was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my hematologist, my oncologist in Beaumont, and he did a cancer screen on me, and he said, "Well, you don't have a cancer gene, but going to the hospital so much, I have a history of blood clots, so they're so quick to throw me in, want to do a ultrasound or something like that." And I had a doctor tell me once before, she said, "Stop letting them run, putting you under all of that radiation because that could cause cancer." So I'm like, dang it if I do, dang it if I don't. So it's crazy, but I can now feel, I know my body. So if I have a blood clot, like I know. I had one back in December, and they kept scanning my lung. I said, "It's not my lung, it's in my leg." Because I couldn't walk on my leg, and I had a blood clot in my leg. But the doctors, they were not listening. You have to be an advocate for yourself.
So the blood
So
clot, no, I'm sorry, the lupus caused the blood clot, or was it something else that caused the blood clot?
I have I also have a blood clotting disorder, but that's associated with the lupus, and that's what was causing my blood clots because I threw my first PE in 2020 2002 when after I had Victoria, and I was in the hospital, but I had a really bad delivery, I died on the table,
Mm-hmm.
and I was back in the hospital when she was maybe 6 weeks old because I threw a clot, and that was my first clot was in 2002, and they didn't put a filter inside of me in 2010. So as of now, I've had five PEs, five blood clots in my lungs. I've had them in my kidney. I've had two DVTs. I had them in my legs. So they said I'm on blood thinners for the rest of the doctor said I'm on the blood thinners for the rest of my life.
So you have to take medication for it, right?
Yes, I take Coumadin. Yes, ma'am. I take Coumadin, and then I have to watch what I eat. I can't do a lot of greens because it affects the lupus. I'm sorry, it affects my blood levels.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a machine here that I use and I check my INR, and I have to report it every 2 weeks to make sure I'm therapeutic. Because if I'm not, then that's I could throw another clot like I did back in December. Even though I have an IVC filter in place, I still threw that clot. So it doesn't matter, if you have those devices inside of you. But yeah, I threw another clot.
So is it when you got older that this came upon you, or were you young and you found out all this?
I was younger. I want to say I started going to the hospital a lot, maybe around the age of 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
But after I had Victoria is when it really got bad. I don't know if, with the pregnancy and me being I was just 25 when I had Victoria, but like I said, I always used to feel bad as a child. I used to love track. I used to run outside with the boys, but I could never do long distance because I was always short-winded. They told
Mm-hmm.
me I had asthma. Then they just diagnosed me with something going on. I'm not getting enough oxygen to my lungs or something they were saying. And I have my main artery on my just the main artery on the right side. I don't know the medical terminology. I can't remember at this moment, but it's enlarged. So that's what was causing me to not be able to, catch my breath, and I can't do things that I normally would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm getting older, I have to slow down. Like the doctor told me a couple of months ago, I could never go back and do kickboxing and stuff like that I love to do. He said you just can't do it. And I was hard headed,
Right, right, and we are that way. I mean,
and I
doctor tell me a lot of things. I'm just okay, whatever.
yeah, some days I feel good and I get out there and do stuff, and I pay for it, for about 4 or 5 days. But I just cannot just sit in the bed and just not, me. I can't just sit around and not do nothing.
I mean, you really really do a lot of things. A lot of people don't know the extent of your illness and everything, and they call on you to do a lot of things, and I mean, you don't live next door, but then you do take trips back and forth to from Beaumont to Atlanta, and which I know people appreciate that, but they don't know the extent of your illness. So if you had a crisis, and I know sickle cells have crisis, and also lupus have crisis. If you have a crisis between the time you leave your place to the time you get to Texas, what do you do? Or do you stop somewhere and just go to the hospital, or do you take medication, or what do you do?
I'll take if I have to take something. I will probably take something just like a muscle relaxer because I also have neuropathy. So I'll take something that's like maybe a muscle relaxer. But if I'm having a full blown flare up, I'll
Mm-hmm.
wait till I get to Beaumont and I go to Beaumont. Well, you came and met me at Beaumont Emergency Room.
Right.
They know me, they know my medical history, and I'm really comfortable with them. So I would actually honestly be in the hospital down there than out here. Because it took me over 20 years to find my group of doctors that I have. And like I said, Dr. John Fowler was amazing. And they said that Dr. Schaffner's good. And it was a man. I don't know if you ever saw this series called House. It was a man named Dr. Sachs. He was a pain management doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to him because I didn't know what was wrong. That man was testing me for all kind of weird stuff, and that's how he was able to diagnose the lupus. He led me to the right doctor to get the mitochondrial myopathy. If it wasn't for Mr. Sachs, Dr. Sachs, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Right. Right. Well, let me go ahead and tell the listening audience hello, because we've been on for a while and we haven't spoken to them. Thank you, Elizabeth LeBlanc, Nicole Dunn, and Terry Roth. Terry says, "Hey, my friends," and so thank you guys for tuning in. I see some on the phone. Both of you who are just on my phone, transfer over to the comment section and say hello to Latoya Ozan and to us. We're talking about living and overcoming different medical issues, and Latoya has a lot of medical issues, but like we always say, that like I told her earlier, by his stripes we are healed. And I
Mhm.
truly believe, because I believe in God, I believe that God will heal, or has already healed you, and you just going through some of the motions to get to the point where you need to be.
Yep,
um
this test will be a testimony.
mhm. Terry says my friend is a survivor now, and I love my girl. So
Oh, love you too, brother.
And hey, Missy, Melissa just came in. But Melissa Chambers, she just came in. Hello, Melissa. How are you doing as well? Let's get back to Toya and talk about how has your life changed since you had since you were diagnosed with lupus and you had the trace of sickle cell. Because we talking about those two right now. We'll get to the other one later.
Um, Honestly, it hasn't. It pushed me to do more stuff. So I really don't. People really don't know how the severity of how things get because I don't want to for someone to feel sorry for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry fussing me all the time. I do too much, but I just don't want to for someone to feel sorry. So people really didn't know like the extent of things that I was really, really dealing with. But it just kept me going. Being involved, being at the school. I mean, that's just something that kept me going. I enjoyed being PTA mom and cooking for the kids. I mean, that's just something that I enjoy doing. I hate that Zoe didn't get that to get that that part of me her last few years at school because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just I don't know. Just I'm just deal with things differently. If someone tell me I can't do something, it makes me go out and do it. And I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't gonna just lay down and just take it and just go out like that. That's just not me.
Yeah. Well, so what were some of your biggest challenges living with this chronic illness?
I think the most chronic well it's me not being able to just get up and go like I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I said, it's a lot of things I couldn't do anymore. That I enjoyed doing. It was a hobby for me and kept me in shape. And I can't, I mean, I can't go out and go to the gym and go kickboxing. I can't go, for long walks and runs like I, was able to when I was younger. But I know my limits now, so
Mhm.
I just can't do the things that I used to do. They're just all around. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if I'm out there vacuuming the car, and then I'm having a good day, and I'm going to the store. I may feel it the next day, and I may not.
So does it happen all of a sudden? Does it come on you all of a sudden? Wow.
Yeah, I was just this was the other day. Danny and I that was we went to the mall. I was feeling good that day. And the
Mm-hmm.
next day I woke up, I said, "Babe, please come pray for me." Because I was just in so much pain, and he just came and just comforted his baby, and I felt better. But yeah,
You just a little spoiled. That's all.
I am. He do. He had, I woke up one day, Mom, and I said, "You know what, babe? I after 21 years, I can honestly say I'm spoiled."
Which is a good thing.
It is because he didn't raise the bar. Something happened to my husband, I'm never getting married again.
Okay, you saying that? You saying that?
Oh,
So,
I mean that.
has it when lupus affected your career and everything? I
Yes.
here.
I used to work at the prison
Uh-huh.
and I loved my job. I wanted to be a police officer. My oncologist took me off. He took me off. I mean, I lost my job because he did not allow me to go back to work because of his port. He said if you have a use of force, you will not make it. He said you could die before you get out the gate. And he wouldn't release me to go back to work.
Now, why was that?
Because of the port. This port that I have is connected to a main vein, and if I was to get into a use of force, like you get into a fight at work, if
Fine.
an inmate was to hit me,
Oh, okay.
or
Okay.
yeah, I could bleed out.
Okay, I understand. So, okay, I see what you're saying.
Hmm.
So, how do you feel about yourself?
How do I feel about myself?
You know, knowing
What do you
that
mean?
you knowing that you got this problem, you got this problem, you got this problem, knowing that you have all these problems, these illnesses. How
Hmm.
do you feel about yourself? What do you think about yourself?
You're asking me, is it affecting with my self esteem?
Yes.
Sometimes it has. I finally told. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be transparent. I said, I think I am depressed because these days I don't go to bed. I maybe sleep 2 or 3 hours out the day because I'm afraid. Sometimes I'm like, what if I don't wake up? If I'm
Hmm.
having a bad day, I think about my girls all the time. So it does affect your mental. It kind of made me kind of paranoid a little bit. Oh, she just she's gonna leave me on here. Well, anyway, it kind of left me a little paranoid. So yeah, it kind of affected my mental. I don't know what to talk about, guys, because my host is gone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You
I'm back.
it's okay.
I don't know what happened. I do know what happened, but I ain't gonna say
tell me after the show.
it.
But
Yeah,
what but the mitochondria, that's what I wanted to tell you. That's not something you can't just go into a doctor's office and they have to do a muscle biopsy on you
yeah. Like I said,
to get that.
the mitochondria. How you say it? Myopathy.
Mitochondria, yes,
My
ma'am. Mitochondria myopathy. Hmm.
Okay, because I said that myo means muscles and that apathy means disease. So tell me a little bit about that. What is that?
it's like your oxygen. You're not getting enough oxygen to your cells, and it causes like muscle breakdown. And like I physically can see like muscle breakdown in my legs. So yeah, and it make you weak. I'm weak a lot.
Does it deal with the heart or the brain?
It can affect your neurologically. It can affect it long term. Um, you asked about the brain, and what else you asked?
The heart.
Oh, it could affect it. Anything dealing with lupus and mitochondria and sickle cell, it could affect any of your organs. Everything is fair game. I just had a, it's everything is fair game.
So the no, I can't say that word. The fire. Say that word again. Say that disease of
Mitochondria, you say
yeah.
mitochondria.
But does it mean that you carrying this trait, or you just is it like the sickle cell? You carrying a trait, or you full blown with it, or what?
You know, that's no, it's not a trait.
It's not a
It's
trait.
it's it's no, ma'am, it's not a
You
trait. I will tell you, ma'am.
either have it or you don't.
Yeah, either you have it or you don't. It's no medication. Well, they have like multi. I have vitamins like A1C. I have it somewhere, but they have vitamins that my neurologist put me on.
Mm-hmm.
But for the neuropathy, you can get it out of basic foods. It's just like a supplement for the oxygen that's going, back into your cells. And I even started researching what you were telling me about. I hadn't tried it yet, but I went and got Steve Harvey stuff because he had an issue with his mitochondria.
I heard that. I heard that,
But
and so
yeah,
is that why he made all this stuff? Because of
yes, ma'am.
okay,
He
okay,
was really, really sick. I think Mr. Harvey had more of like gut issues. More, if I'm don't quote me, but I think Mr. Harvey had more of the gut issues going on. And like I have, some issues with my stomach. I don't eat a lot. I was telling you earlier, I was in the hospital and they told me I was malnutrition. I'm like, baby, I'm not. I don't look. I mean, look at me. You can tell you there, but not me. But then I thought about the conversation that Dr. Uman and I had whenever I decided to switch over to pescatarian.
mm-hmm.
And he told me whenever you do that, you need to make sure that you're eating enough of protein. And that was bad on my part because I'm just not a big eater. Daniel has to. If Daniel don't make me breakfast, I don't eat in the morning because I don't have an appetite.
Wow. I know you.
I don't have an appetite.
I know you told me that you were vegan. Are you still vegan?
Yes, I'm pescatarian. I eat fish, as far as like, I don't do any dairy, I don't do any meats, I don't do any of that. And to be honest, ever since that was the best decision of my life, and I feel so much better eating healthier. And my neurologist was so happy I made that choice because he's more of a natural doctor, and you have a lot of doctors who are not big on natural medicine.
So what causes that mitochondria? What causes that?
That's a good question. To this day, I don't know. A lot of doctors who I talk to, they do not know a lot about this disease. They hear little bits and pieces about it. So I'm on this support group, and I met some ladies, and they send me people I need to go and see, but they're far away.
Right, right. So
But yeah, so that's why I go.
actually had you ever joined a support group with that to see.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So do they help? Does that support group help you? Because I know everybody there probably have it. So
I'm more of a therapist in the group. I'm more of the therapist in the group. I get a lot of inboxes, and it's just great to talk to other people that's experiencing things that you're experiencing because they can understand and they can relate. Because
so
it was one time a doctor had my husband thinking I was crazy,
hmm
like did my illness was not real. Yeah.
wow. So how were you diagnosed?
Muscle biopsy. It was in 2016. I don't know. It's a blur to me. I don't know why I chose that hospital. It's Park Plaza in Houston.
Hmm.
You know me. If you would have you just saw that hospital, you'd be like, Toya, what made you go there? Mom, I don't know what made me go there. It reminded me of when I used to bring inmates to these hospitals, like I can't think of it in Houston. But I woke up and this lady, she was in there and she brought me it's like this woman just appeared like an angel. She brought me a cloth. This lady was pinning this prayer cloth in my gown. And this lady was praying over me. They were willing me into surgery, and they ended up doing a biopsy because I was so weak. And when I woke up, they told me what I had, and then I don't even know what happened to that lady for me to think of.
Wow.
But I was there by myself, and I don't know. I don't to this day I don't remember why I ended up in that hospital. I was transported by ambulance or something because I was just so weak. I used to be really, 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 really sick.
Did you think
My
that
mom used to call me, "Hi, ma'am."
did you think that by you having all these crises and illnesses that okay, I might as well go ahead and have a pity party. So
No.
you never thought that.
Mm-mm. No, never. That's why, like I say, a lot of people don't know the severity of it.
Mm-hmm.
I even told my husband before. I was like, you did not sign up for this. Like, you can just go your way and I go mine. And he was like, no, I signed up for it the day I married you.
So can you do a ketogenic diet to treat the mitochondria myopathy?
The doc, they say it's no cure, but I believe that I'm healed and I'm cured from this. Man says no cure. Man says no cure for lupus. They say it's no cure for mitochondria, and they said it's no cure for sickle cell.
So I was going to ask you, can mitochondria have more than one disease? But you do have more than one disease because you got the mitochondria, you have the lupus, and you have the trace of the sickle cell. So that's more than
Mhm.
one. So with all those combining together, I mean, how would you know which one to treat? How would you know I need to go to the ER? How would you know why you go what I'm going to ER for?
Oh, well, when I go to the hospital, I can tell. I just know my body. If I'm concerned about the blood clot, I'll tell them I have a blood clot. I need you to check my levels.
Mm-hmm.
And just because like my D dimer is elevated, no, when I'm therapeutic, my D dimer is still elevated
Right.
because it's just going to be elevated because of all the different things that I have going on. But if I'm having a flare up with the lupus, I know. And with the sickle cell trait or whatever, it's really not big of a difference. Like I've seen my niece be at her lowest, and I have never been to that point. Like we thought we were going to lose her. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, my opinion is sickle cell is a worse disease than lupus. That's just my opinion. I know people who have lupus who didn't pass away from it and who was really really sick. And
Right.
I don't. I just chose not to be one of. I just wasn't gonna. Like I was telling you earlier, I took all of my stuff and put it in the closet. I said I'm not gonna depend on none of this stuff.
Right. Right. I'm
Mm-mm.
sorry. I'm sorry. My I hear my dog cracking on something, and I just got him from the emergency room, and I hope it's not he ain't cracking on the ink pen
You just
because
got back from the emergency room.
he got not for me for him. And
Oh, okay.
I had to take him to the ER, and so sound like he emailed ink pen or something like that. I hope not. Well, you might have to swallow this one anyway. Anyway, so
Leave
on a
Gigi alone.
I know, girl. On a daily basis, how do you feel on a daily basis?
To be honest, I hurt every day, so it's not a day that I'm not in pain. I just learn to deal with my pain and live with my pain. Benjamin and tore something up.
I'm sorry. This is not my. I should have locked him up. But he was eating on the ink pen. So okay. So uh, you feel bad every day.
Oh yeah, I mean I can, but I've learned to deal with it. I'm not in. I mean I'm in pain, but I have a high tolerance of pain. If that makes sense, I can go into the hospital. I know my blood pressure is high. I just tolerate pain. I just have a high tolerance of pain. So it's not like if I'm in the bed, then I'm really hurting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down if I'm in bed.
You know, it's a known fact that blood. I know you say you have blood clots, and it's a known fact that blood clots travel real fast.
Hmm.
So how do you keep your blood clots from not traveling like excuse me, like other people they travel real fast? How do you,
Oh, hold on. um, I forgot I had the camera that way. So let me show you. This is I take my blood thinners, and what I do is I just have like I'm spoiled with my doctors too. So I have this machine,
that's like for a
and I
diabetic?
just no, ma'am, it's not. It's just for my INR to see what my levels are. So it is something like diabetics use, but it's different. It'll tell me I need to be between a 2 and a 2.5 is the range I need to be at.
Mm-hmm.
So if sometimes I go to if I'm feeling bad and my if it says it's like a one, then it's like I'm not even taking my blood thinners. So it could be something that I ate that affected it. So I have to check it, more than a normal person.
Well, that's just like a diabetic. They have to, they might eat something and it doesn't agree with them, and their blood sugar goes extremely high, or they might just eat something that they figure is okay because before you go to bed you have to eat a little snack, and that snack might not agree with you during the night, so your blood
Mm,
sugar in the morning is high, but
hmm
but you can eat like peanut butter and then it brings your blood sugar down. Not a
Yeah, I remember
with peanut butter. Yeah.
Coke too, right? I think my grandfather used to tell me it was a young lady. She was going into like a doc. She said, "Give her a Coke,
Right, a
like
Coke.
a Coke." Yeah. So that I always remembered that if I
Or
come
orange
across
juice.
someone with
Mhm.
diabetic.
Or orange juice. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
But just recently I found out this is what I do all the time now. Recently I just found out that I drink a blueberry pomegranate smoothie in the morning, and
hmm
then later before I go to bed I go get another blueberry pomegranate. I drink that at night. My blood
hmm
sugar now is like 111, 113. The other day was 95. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is what I needed, you know. So now I'm drinking twice a day. So, I mean, the nurse had told me eat a lot of berries. Wait, okay.
mm
Eat a lot of berries. And so
Yeah, I
that's what
forgot the reason why I can't have berries. It blueberries affected something. There's a lot of things that I can't have that y'all can have. Like ibuprofen helps my pain, but I can't take it
right.
because of the blood thinners.
Because of the blood thinner. What about taking an
Uh-huh.
aspirin? Because they tell you take an aspirin for blood thinners, right? No?
I can't do aspirin. No, I can't do aspirin because I'm on warfarin. But if I have to go to the ER, it's just procedure. They have to give you a baby aspirin just in
Right,
case it's something dealing with your heart.
right,
But no, on a regular basis, I
right,
was advised not to. Um, and a lot of doctors like they have I can't think of those medicines right now, but it's other the what medicine I'm on, warfarin is it's like it says rat poison. It's an old school blood thinner. But for the blood disease that I was diagnosed with, that's the only thing that helps that particular blood disease.
Rosin Seal says, "Hey, Rosin, how are you?" Rosin Seal says most medical professionals don't even listen to African American women at all. It happened to me.
You're absolutely right. I just went off on a doctor a couple of weeks ago in the hospital. And then I mean, I start calling them out now. Like if I told his doctor, he was in my room like maybe 10 seconds. I said, "No, excuse me, sir. I need to talk to you. You need to sit here and listen to me." And so I make them listen to me now. They don't listen to African Americans, and they label a lot of us as pain seekers wanting medication. You come through that. I've had it's been some stuff, but I tell them what I have to say
Hmm.
because doctors don't work for they work for us. We don't work for them.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
so yeah. So no, they you have to make them listen, and that's what I do. But no, she's absolutely right. They don't listen to African Americans, especially women, because they don't think that our pain is real.
So, do you work with the same doctor all the time, or do you have different doctors for
You
different
mean
illnesses?
Oh, you mean like for my? I haven't found the right rheumatologist yet. But I have I'm supposed to have a rheumatology doctor for the lupus. You have your for hematology. I have a
Hmm.
hematologist, an oncologist. I have a neurologist. I have a doctor for every part of my body.
Yeah.
I just
Rosin,
hadn't found the mitochondria doctor.
Rosin also says she almost died from a blood clot.
Yeah, it's nothing to play with.
Yeah, they serious. When
They
they
are.
they're real serious.
They really are like it really is. Sometimes I get a little paranoid. I'm one of Dr. Colbert used to tell me I was because I know every little my child had a scratch on them. I knew it. So I was just like being, going through those illnesses. It kind of made me, I guess, overreact. I wanted to make sure my kids were okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if they had a cold, we going to the hospital. We going to the doctor. I mean,
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
but blood clots are nothing to play with. Oh my God, they're not. I mean, the first one, when you have a blood clot in your lungs, it's like you cannot breathe. You can't. You actually cannot breathe. It's like you're suffocating.
But usually, if you have a blood clot in your lung, that would kill you right off, won't it?
The doctor said I am a miracle. They said I should not be here, but God got me here for a reason.
For a reason.
Yep.
Yeah. You remember what I told you earlier what I wanted to do, and I told you that. So he got you here for a reason to give me some
He
input
got
on
me.
it.
He got me here for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. So
Heaven is not ready for me yet.
uh, not yet, not yet. So with all those illnesses that you are have conquered, because we're gonna say have conquered, what would you tell someone who just now been diagnosed with any of them, with the mitochondria or the sickle cell, because you have the traits, and you said none of your kids have it, right? Since you have the traits.
None of my kids have it, thank God. But I would just stay on top of your health, be an advocate. Take it serious. I mean, it's nothing to play with. Eliminate stress. Oh, stress, stress,
Yeah,
stress.
yeah.
You know my cutoff game strong.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get a piece of just a little inkling that you're not right for me, I'm cutting you off because my piece is so important to me. And stress brings on a lot of illnesses and sicknesses. My husband used to always tell me, "You are making yourself sick because you're stressing out
Mm-hmm.
over everything and everybody."
Yeah.
And you know what? When I was in the hospital,
You can't take
I
all of
was
it on you.
no, because you know what I said when I'm in a hospital and I'm for a while, nobody coming up but my husband. And you've came, Mother Thomas has been there for me. But whenever I'm in the hospital and the people who, when my phone's, whenever I'm in the hospital and my phone not ringing, then guess what? I'm gonna be absent. To keep that same energy when I come out because I need you. If I consider you a friend and if I'm calling you just to vent, I found that you cannot talk to everybody about certain things, but I would just tell them just to be an advocate. Keep your faith because you can. I'm still here, and it's been 20 years.
Have you ever
I've
had
been
any?
dealing with it.
Have you ever had any of your friends say, "Oh, she's always sick"? She wants a pity party. She wants this, and she want. Have you ever? I mean, I know you probably bumped up on a friend who said who you thought was your friend.
What? No, because like like someone who I really consider a friend, they really knew that I was sick. Like I can honestly say like my homeboys, they are such a great support system. When Daniel couldn't come, like we were in Beaumont, he was bringing me food when Daniel couldn't, come there just so he won't make a trip out there. Well, he came anyway. But like my homeboys, I mean, they have really been there. I can honestly say that. My friends have been there more than family. Just keeping it real.
Hmm.
So I've never had anyone to my face that was my friend say that I'm faking. Now, family, yeah. And they probably get mad if they listening, but some family members didn't think that I was really sick. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that. It's just that. Um, so do you have any of those illnesses under control, where that you can say, "I'm good. I don't need. I don't need the medicine. You probably need medicine for one or two of them. I don't need the medicine, not that much anymore." So, do you have any of them under control?
Yes, I do. I don't take pain. The only time I'll take pain medicine is if I'm in the hospital. If I take a pain pill at home, I am really hurting. I have medicine that I've been having is about to expire because I've been having it so long. But I don't take my pain. The only thing that I take is my blood thinners. I take my supplements and I take my stomach medication, every now and then. But the only thing honestly that I have to take on a regular basis is my I'm nauseous a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do they prescribe me Finnegan or I have the little packets behind my ears. Um, my if I don't take my stomach medicine, I will not eat because anything messes my stomach up, especially with changing my eating habits and my plaque my lupus medication. But that's the only medicines that I honestly take on a regular basis.
I have a sister who has a muscle disorder, and
Mm.
I thought it was the mitochondria. I thought it was that. So
Mhm.
I had to call her even before the podcast. I had to call her and
Mhm.
ask her, is that what she had? She said it wasn't that, and she told me what it was. God knows I don't remember. And so,
Yeah.
but sometimes she has to just be still and take a medicine and be still and do not do anything right then. But
Mhm.
it's serious, and I didn't as a matter of fact, we didn't know she had it until years later and everything, and so she was losing her muscles.
Yeah, but you know what? To be honest, she wouldn't know unless she had a muscle biopsy. And if she's losing body mass, it sounds like it could be mitochondria. And what I don't know, but from what I've researched and the doctors that I've talked to, they say it goes unnoticed a lot in the African American community.
She just texted me and she said that is polymyopsis, whatever it is, polymyositis, polymyositis, and that's what she have. So,
I've
uh,
heard of that before, but I'm not familiar with it.
yeah. So she takes medication for that, and thank you, Ruth.
Okay.
Um, and
We
so,
believe it in your healing too, Aunt Ruth.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So she I mean, she's done a miraculous thing. Sometimes she's down with it, and most of the time she's not. But she Ruth was still is a nurse, and so she knows some parts about what to. I'm sure all parts about what to do and everything. But the nurses are your worst patients. So
But I remember her from Setna. She was so sweet, and I didn't know that was your sister until. But yeah, she was. You, I would have never known she was sick.
yeah,
But
yeah.
she didn't play though. Oh, because Daniel used to work with Aunt Ruth, but I
Mhm.
just yeah, because he worked at Setma.
Okay, okay, yeah. So that's a disease she has, and I thought that they were. Are they related or?
I don't know. Like I said, I saw that word before, but I've never been diagnosed with it, so I never did research on it.
Uh-huh.
But now I'm kind of interested in alternative medications, and I'm kind of I read up on a lot of things now. I even got this book a nurse recommended me in the hospital, New Choices in Natural Healing.
Uh-huh.
So this is my new journey I'll be on.
Ruth said, "Not me. I'm a good patient. Hardly ever sick." So
I think you would be a difficult patient.
who? Ruth?
You no you.
Oh, well, no, no,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not. She said, but they both have to do with the muscle weakness. Both of them.
Okay. Okay,
Mitochondria.
I'm gonna have to research that.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, I looked at it. I'd have never thought she had anything.
right. I mean, one time she was down. I mean, just down. I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you? And so that's when she first had it, and she told him what
Yeah.
was going on. But she stayed at the doctor. She stayed with the doctor. So,
But I remember my mom used to always come to Beaumont and she'll be like, and I used to feel so bad because she loved to shop. The woman lived in Park Del Mile. And so she'd be like, so you just let's go walk around at the mall and let's just, and she didn't have no friends. It just me and my sister. That's the only friends she ever had. And
mhm.
my Aunt Ro. But I just never really I don't think my mom really what my mom really knew never really knew the extent of my illness until I had to get my kidney removed, part of my kidney.
Mhm.
And she said at the hospital she wasn't leaving. Like she said, "Dang, you're home." But that's when she knew. I think that's when she knew. Okay, yeah, something is really wrong with my child
Right, right.
because she'd have never known. Because I just always pushed through. I mean, I had Mariah at an early age, so a sickness couldn't stop me from being a mom. So I mean, I couldn't just, you know.
Right,
And then
right,
I'm also, like I said, I'm private, so a lot of people just didn't know the things I was struggling with.
right, right, right.
Yeah,
Terry says, I'm claiming healing for my friend. She's already here. That's already done.
I'm already here because we already talked about today our trip we planning, so I have to be right for it.
Yeah. So, Toya, it was such a pleasure talking to you tonight. Y'all, Toya is my co-host for Blue Table Talk, and also she's my bonus daughter. So, and she's spoiled. Terry, you are so right. She's spoiled. I mean, I can't do nothing. She think I'm mad because I didn't do this and I didn't do that. She'll be all right. That's what I tell her.
But at least I tell you. At least I tell you. Like I told you, I don't want no stepdaddy because I'm not sharing you with no more people.
It's mad when I go out. I'm like, you're gonna be all right. Anyway, it was a pleasure having you on Blue Table Talk tonight as my guest instead of as the co-host, because a lot of people, especially myself, didn't know anything about mitochondria. I didn't know a lot about lupus, even though my cousin has. I didn't know a lot about sickle cell, even though I know people who have it. Nor did I know a lot about the disease that my sister had, polymyositis, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So, but it was a pleasure having you on tonight, and I want you to just let everybody know that all is well.
All is well, and
Well,
all is well, and I will tell people
it is
this,
well
Mom.
with my soul.
What you say?
It is well with my soul because it's
And
already.
also, y'all need to. If I'll give anyone the advice, if anyone in your family has a sickness or a disease, please read up on it. So you need to know what people are going through.
Yeah,
Like just read up on it so you can be well educated because you never know if you have to take care of that person, if you have to be an
right.
advocate, if they're in the hospital. Like,
Get down.
yeah, just research. That's all.
Yeah, Ruth said we are blessed, Toya.
We are Aunt Ruth, and I'm Toya with two Y's. I
She
love
gonna,
you.
she gonna tell you, baby. She gonna tell you. Well, thank you guys for coming in tonight, tuning in tonight to Blue Table Talk. Next week, will we have Henry next week or what?
Ma'am.
Are we having
Oh,
Henry?
I'm gonna. No, I think I want to do domestic violence, Mom. We'll get Henry the following week. We'll
Okay,
we'll discuss it.
with the domestic violence. So just tune in. I know I've been off a couple of weeks. We've been off a couple of weeks. That's only because I was getting ready for a production, and the production is over, and so now I'm back to doing my podcast every week, and just continue to keep us lifted because that we're trying to get topics that will help you guys out. And not only help you out, know that in the city of Beaumont, Texas, we have some talented people out here. And so that you need to know who they are, where they are, and everything. So God bless you and God keep you is my prayer. If I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then I know that my living is not in vain. Okay. All right. Good to see you guys. Smooches.
Smooches.